What's going on, everybody? My name is Monster, and welcome to episode 7 of Coach Profiles, the series where I interview coaches so that you can get to know them a little bit better. In today's episode, I have the coach of the Detroit Teravolts, Nacho. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I've done some pretty nice recording today. I just interviewed Jay. Um,
Nice.
yeah. All right. So we're just gonna jump straight into it, okay?
Cool.
All right. So first question: how did you get into draft league?
So it sounds like my answer is really similar to just about everybody else's, and it basically stems from watching Shady on YouTube and then seeing UCL battles and GBA battles and kind of just, watching those influencers and deciding, hey, that looks like fun. I'm going to try it myself. So I actually found my first league on Reddit. The guy was looking for a replacement, and I'm like, dude, I'll do it. So hopped in, and then I've been doing this ever since. And that was like a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago, just as long as Jay. That's wild. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it seems to be a very common theme between everyone is that they got into it because of influencers.
Yeah.
All right, so next question: how many leagues have you been in, and what were your results?
So I actually tried counting, and I don't have all the talks anymore, and I kind of forget. And it's like a year and a half worth of two or three leagues at a time minimum. So yeah, I would guess like somewhere between 20 and 30, maybe.
Okay.
It's hard to say, but it's been a few.
Do you know what your best results were?
So my best like regular season record was something like 10-2 or 9-3 or something like that. Can't remember. But then I've made finals once, and it was actually a pretty close finals game. I think it came down to a 1-0, losing that. So I've done decently well. I've also done really terribly. I've gone like close to winless in leagues. But generally, I'm kind of a 6-6, 7-5 kind of guy, just kind of squeaking in there.
Okay, I feel you. I think I'm generally the same way. Especially with the going almost winless in some leagues. Um,
Yeah.
all right, so next question. What was your most successful Pokemon in these past leagues?
Successful, it's hard to say. I'd probably go with something like Kieran Black. I've had a lot of kills with, not like, leading a league or anything, but um, it's been probably my most consistently successful offensive Pokemon. And then I've drafted Melodic a lot, and it's been voted defensive MVP of a couple different leagues. I just love using that thing because you can make it take a hit from like anything. So I would say one of those two.
Okay, Kieran Black definitely a very offensive mon, and so I think Melodic is the first defensive Pokemon that somebody's given an answer to for this question, which is kind of wild. Um, Melodic is definitely really solid. I had it in UPBA for about 3 weeks, and then that league died.
Oh yeah,
So
that's great. Oh well, that sucks.
yeah, it feels bad. My Firewater Grass core in that league was like Heatran, Melodic, Mega Venusaur. It was crazy. All right, so next question.
Nice.
What is your all-time favorite Pokemon to draft?
Mm, so my very first Pokemon I ever drafted was actually Mega Charizard Y, and I've gotten it at least two other times since then, and I've had a pretty good time with it. Um, and I don't know why. I don't know. I like the design, and it's a really fearsome wall breaker. Like, good luck switching into that thing.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so it's fun. I generally, if I kind of don't have anything else I want to try, I'm gonna kind of fall back on something like a Charizard Y. So probably that.
Okay. Most people when they give their Charizard evolution of choice, they go with X. So it's definitely
Yeah,
good to see Y get some
usually
love.
do. Yeah, X is definitely, I would say, objectively better, but Y I think is a lot of fun to use.
Yeah,
If
for
you have a good
sure.
team to support it, it's
Yeah,
it's really awesome because like I said, nothing switches into that thing.
yeah. I actually used it a lot back when I used to play a lot of monotype. I used it on mono flying teams, but
Yeah, I did too. Those are
ironic.
good.
Look at that. All right. So next question. What's your general opinion of your team this season in NCL?
So my general opinion is this is going to be fun, kind of. Um, I haven't recorded my draft analysis video yet. I plan to, but I kind of have a general theme this draft where it was like things I've used in the past, but I didn't think I used that well. So I wanted to try them again. So like Celesteela and Garchomp, and I got to remember the rest of my team real quick. Stuff like that is things I've had in the past, but
I
I
think you have
felt
Mega
like, man,
Dansey too.
yeah, Mega Dansey is like the only thing that's like new and I wanted to try for the first time. Everything else I've had before, and I've decided, you know, I could have got a little more out of that, so I'm gonna try it again. Like Electivire, I love Electivire, but I got it real late in a season, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I'm like, I'm gonna really try and use this thing to its full potential. So I like it, and I have reasonable expectations for it because it might go horribly wrong, but I'm gonna have fun trying it out anyway.
Okay. I actually didn't know your Fairy Dragon Steel Core was Celesteela, Garchomp, Mega Diancie. That's a really fearsome Fairy Dragon Steel Core.
Yeah, I focused real. When I decided I was going to take Celesteela, I focused real hard on pairing it up with a really nice dragon and a really nice fairy. And actually, the two dragon and fairies that I wanted got sniped from me, and then I ended up with Mega Diancie and Garchomp, and I'm like, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely pretty good considering you got sniped twice. But yeah, on the NCL channel, guys, be sure to be on the lookout for Nacho's recap. It's either already up or it's really close to going up. So just so you know the what we're talking about with Nacho's team there. So next question: how well do you think you'll do this season?
like I said before, I'm kind of usually a 6-6 kind of guy. Like I usually go around 500, usually a little bit above. So like I'm hoping I can hit at least 7-5. Wait, this is a 12-week season, right?
Yes, I am. I do assume because I think Ian said we play everybody once, so I'm assuming it's 12 weeks.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm hoping for that, and I think I can probably reasonably do it. Anything better would be awesome. So
Yeah, that's definitely a very reasonable goal. I think that's pretty much what everybody said that they just want to go even. You're the third person to use the term 500, and before I started doing these interviews, I had never heard it before.
yeah, it's a pretty sports kind of term.
That's so
For,
crazy. I
winter
played
season.
baseball for 6 years. Like, I'm not sports dumb, but like, never heard that before. Okay. Next question. What Pokemon do you think was tiered too high this season?
Easily Doug Trio. I think tier 1 for Doug Trio is just a little too much. It is really good, and I know trapping it can be really pivotal for a team, but I think to have Doug Trio take up a tier 1 spot on your team is I think a little too much, and it's a little overvalued there. So I honestly looked at it really hard because trapping things for Celesteela would be amazing, but I just couldn't. To get the type of team I wanted, I couldn't justify spending 180 points on it. So
Yeah.
I would say that.
I know. Actually, Jay answered with the exact same question, but from what I understand, Ian moved it up because because Doug Trio was picked on a stall team, and Ian wanted to put a full stop to the play style, so he moved it up to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, I understand that. That's fair because no one really wants to play stall.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I still think that Dougie in tier 1 is just a little much, but that's okay. You don't like it, don't draft it.
Right. All right, so next question. What Pokemon do you think was tiered too low this season?
So I actually tried to draft a couple of these that I thought were a little under tiered. The first one being Uxie or however you say its name. It's a tier 4 in this league, and usually I see it in tier 3. Not that tier 4 is like wrong for it, but usually you see Mesprit in tier 4. So to get Uxie in that slot, I think is really good value. So I picked that up because I was originally going to go with a different psychic type, like I think I was considering Cresselia at that point. But when I decided I could get a different tier 2 and go with Uxie in tier 4, I'm like, hell yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
And then stuff like Piloswine in tier 5. I don't know if it's always tier 5. I I think I remember seeing it more in tier 4. So I'm like, I can't really pass that up because, yeah, if you watch my draft recap video, which I haven't done yet, towards the end of the draft, I was kind of like, well, I don't really know what else to take, and I had 2 tier 5s to pick, and I'm like, I'm just going to pick the 2 things that I think, shouldn't be down in tier 5. Just get the most value out of it, and then whatever happens, happens.
Right.
So that's what I did with Piloswine. I was like, this thing probably should be in tier 4. So.
Right. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Piloswine is like there are like 2 or 3 Pokemon in tier 5 that are always really, really good. Like I think Girder in tier 5 is really solid, and Piloswine is another one for sure. I think it is generally tier 5 from what I remember. We just finished the WBE draft stream, and it's tier 5 there.
Okay.
But
yeah,
definitely.
I just thought it's really good value there. So
yeah, for sure, it's definitely really solid.
That if it was tier 4, I would definitely consider taking it there. So tier 5 was kind of like, yeah, I need that.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. So on to the next question. If you had to pick a move to have the highest kills this season, what would it be?
I'm gonna try and think of something else besides Earthquake or Thunderbolt because that's what I've been hearing a lot of. But those 2 make a lot of sense. But if I had to pick something else, I would probably go with maybe Surf or something.
Surf?
Scald. One of those bulky water type things that just wear it down. It's really hard to say. Honestly, I think Earthquake or Thunderbolt is going to be the actual answer, but I'm just trying to come up with something different for the sake of being different. So.
I know Manaphy was actually
No, actually, here's what I'll say. I'll say Moonblast in the hopes that Mega Diancie goes crazy this season. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure. A lot of solid fairies were picked up, so.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah. All right. So next question. Of all the Pokemon drafted, which one do you think will be the kill leader this season?
That's tough. I think. I'm trying to think of all the usual suspects and who's got what. So Cade has Coco, right?
Yeah, Cade has Coco, Lucha, Weavile, and Excadrill.
That's tough. I'm gonna probably just go with Coco just to be safe.
Just to be safe. Coco in Cade's hands is definitely super scary to deal with for sure.
Yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to, especially with the team I have. I don't have a whole lot for it, So
yeah, I feel you. All right.
My main ground type is weak to fairy, so lovely.
Yeah. And then Coco could run HP Ice for my main ground type, so I definitely feel you for sure.
It can mess you up pretty easy, so I'm not looking forward to that.
All right, so next question. Never mind, there isn't another question. I always forget that's my last question for some reason. So yeah, thank you so much for the interview. Hopefully you guys got to know Nacho a little bit better, the coach of the Detroit Teravolts. Be sure to check out my channel and Nacho's channel in the description below. They will both be there. And that's going to be it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, and have a good day.